What's going on, everybody? Red Velvet's back. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. A little bit of rain, but we need that sometimes. Always need some rain. But hope everybody had a great weekend, great Monday. I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about. Why am I getting an alert? Okay, there. Technical difficulties all day. So I'm already thrown off, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you're live, pal. You just got to roll with it. So I did update the set a little bit. We got the big Kahuna jersey rocking here. Shout out Jay Snyder for donating the jersey. If you have a jersey you'd like to donate to the Diner Pod, please reach out. Always looking to change it up. Real quick, I do want to thank our sponsors. They make this possible. So real quick, thank you, Wabash Valley Plumbing, RJs Formalwear, Stitched Embroidery and Apparel, and Haute Co. Thank you, sponsors. Also, thank you, subscribers. If you want to support the Diner Pod for 99 cents a month, go over there, click that subscribe button on Facebook, and it'll take you to where you need to go. All right, that's enough of the shameless plugs. But it's been a busy weekend. We had the North-South rivalry game. The bell game was this weekend, Northview, West Vigo. We have like 20 varsity squads. We've got 20 different games, minus the one they played each other. I'm not good at math. Kids, do your homework. You don't want to end up like Red Velvet. Although I think I'm cool, I'm probably not. So thank you, parents. Thank you, coaches, for working with me. Thank you to everybody that tunes in. It's much appreciated. And I got one more community thing. Next week is Route 40 Fest. Next Saturday, the biggest one-day festival in the state of Indiana. Singleton Wrestling will be there. I will be on the microphone. I'll be doing the ring announcing and stuff like that. But the Diner Pod champion, Hijo de Appalachia, puts his title on the line yet again, taking on the dog pound hound, Andre Stray. Andre Stray, man, big competitor. He beat the brakes off me one time when I got to get in the ring. Thought I was a big dog, and he put me in my place. So come out next Saturday to the action. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, now we're getting down to brass tacks. We'll start with some prep volleyball. Northview takes on Cloverdale. The Knights sweep 3-0. Audrey Staggs had 6 kills and 4 blocks. Zindri Shaw, 4 aces, 5 digs, and 2 assists. And Maggie Wilson, 4 aces, 5 digs, and 12 assists. Then Northview took on Sullivan. Knights win 3-0. Carson Buck led the way. 12 kills, a block, 13 digs, and an assist. Addie Dehart, 2 aces, 4 digs, and 20 assists. Audrey Staggs, 8 kills, 3 blocks, and 6 digs. Bella May, 9 kills, 3 blocks, 9 digs, and 2 assists. And Brindley Deacons, 18 digs and 3 assists. Now we move to Northview girls soccer. Northview took on Sullivan, and they get the W 4-1. Sophie Tipton, 2 goals, an assist, and 3 steals. Addie Modulin, a goal, an assist, and 2 steals. And Raquel Terrell, 1 goal, 7 steals. And Carson Stem with 5 saves. Then they took on North Montgomery, and they tied 1-1. Then we moved to the boys' team. Northview took on Edgewood, and Edgewood lost. Correct myself. Northview lost. Then I just ruined it. That happens. Northview wins 5-0. Congratulations, boys. Now we get to some varsity football action. Northview took on West Vigo. Knights win 84-0. They set the school record for most points scored in a single game. Colton Bath, 4 pass completions, 99 yards, 2 tutties, and then he had 2 carries for 63 yards and 2 additional tutties. Sebastian Stewart, 1 carry, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Avery Perry, 4 catches, 99 yards, and 2 tuds. Damaris McLawyer and Slade Fell each had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Cooper Schimmel added a rushing touchdown of his own. On defense, Briar McCluskey, 8 tackles, 2 TFLs. Jamie Zymendorf, 4 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. Slade Fell, 2 tackles, half of a TFL, and 2 picks. And Porter Jones got a scoop and a score, baby. And on special teams, Zane Scales got a punt return touchdown. Now we move over to Terre Haute South, Terre Haute North. Ring the bell, baby. We're going to ring that championship bell. Braves win 66-7. Ties at Corbin, 7 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 catches for 49 yards and 2 more touchdowns. Mason Lewis, Harrison Wetzel, and Sam Weehart had a rushing touchdown each. And then on defense, Brighton Sanders led the way with 7 tackles. Ryan Hesher had a tackle, a TFL, and a sack. Max Ritchie with a tackle and a pick. And Rylan Houle, a tackle, a TFL, a pick, and a 6. And then on special teams, Mason Lewis with a kickoff return. On defense for the Patriots, Jackson McDonald staying true to his record, averaging 15 tackles per game. He got 15 tackles this game. And Blake Solomon added 12. Now we move over to some HCC action. Avon taking on Brownsburg. Bulldogs edge out Avon 55-47. Jace Cameron, 23 pass completions, 252 yards, and 3 tutties. Andre Warfield, 20 carries, 307 yards, a reception for 1 yard. And McCaven Tislow, 9 catches for 117. On defense, Bryce Reynolds had 15 tackles. Mekhi Hines, 14 tackles, a TFL, 1 sack, and a forced fumble. And then Amari Vaughn had 11 tackles and a TFL. It was a big week on defense. I did my points for the power performers. Very high scoring week for everybody. I'm going to spit my gum out. All right. Linton takes on Sullivan. The Miners win 42-28. Paul Oliver had 195 yards and 5 touchdowns. William Hollifield had 18 tackles, a TFL, and Jaden Norris, 16 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. And then Ty Hamilton had 13 tackles and 1 for a loss. Cloverdale took on North Central. The Clovers win big time, 55-6. This is stats for North Central. Cloverdale didn't update stats. All right. Lane Fagley had 8 pass completions for 106 yards. Lane Simmons, 5 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Benford, 5 catches, 66 yards. He had a carry for 13 as well. Now we got some WRC action. Fountain Central takes on Covington. The Mustangs win 40-12. On offense, Nolan Acton, 9 pass completions, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, 19 carries, and 84 yards. Aiden Batchelor, 5 catches for 59. And then on defense, JD Allen, 8 tackles, 2 for a loss. And Noah Dodson, 8 tackles, a TFL, and half of a sack. Now we got the Monon Conference, North Putnam versus Crawfordsville. The Cougars win 57-23. And check out this stat line. Christian Kramer, 16 pass completions, 219 yards, and a touchdown. 17 carries, 266 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He had 6 total tutties on the day. Wes Murphy, 19 carries, 108 yards, a touchdown, 6 catches for 52. And then Jackson Andrews, 2 catches for 5 yards. I had a bunch of typos there. Must have been typing in the car. Kyler Hankins had a rushing touchdown, and Hudson Rowe with a receiving touchdown. On defense, Caden Hankins, 11 tackles in a TFL, and Beckett Brager, 5 tackles, 2 TFLs, and 2 sacks. And Chase Barber added an interception for the Cougars. Then Greencastle took on Western Boone. The Stars win 76-34. Cascade takes on North Montgomery. Do not call them Northmont. I found that out the hard way. It's North Montgomery. There we go. 63-26. Cascade wins. Brady Trebley, 14 completions, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 carry for 32. Lucas Farmer, 3 carries, 79 yards, and a tutty. Marcus Hobson, 5 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Then he also added a 53-yard touchdown as well. Timothy Turner Jr. and Toby Savini, a rushing touchdown each. Dayton Mink, 2 rushing touchdowns. Oh, and Toby Savini also caught a touchdown. Put that later in my notes. On defense, yet again, Toby Savini, 7 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. Braxton Lewis, 3 tackles, 1 for a loss and a sack. Timothy Turner Jr., 5 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack. Michael Langley, 4 tackles and a pick. And Lucas Farmer, 5 tackles and a pick. And then on special teams, Toby Savini with a kickoff return to the house. Now we have North Davies versus Pike Central. The Cougars win 48-0. Keaton Graber, 11 pass completions, 3 tutties, 11 carries for 69 yards. And then we have Anderson Amon. He had a big game. On offense, he had 4 catches for 105 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sky Knapp, Campbell Whitner, and Dawson Bishop each added a rushing touchdown as well. Then on defense, This young man took the stat line. Remember, I said earlier, he had a big game. Anderson Amon, 12 tackles, 7.5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks. He forced a fumble. Then he picked it up and he took it to the house. He had 4 total touchdowns on the day. Congratulations to that young man. South Putt took on Eastern Hancock. The Eagles win 33-19. Then we have the battle for Vermilion County, South versus North. And the Wildcats win 30-0. Why can't my thing? There we go. My mouse was not working over here. Wildcats win 30-0. Ben Shyrock, 18 pass completions, 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 10 carries for 32 yards and another touchdown. And Zealous Royal, 5 catches, 71 yards and a touchdown. Colton Robertson had a rushing touchdown. And Colton Manette had a receiving as well. On defense, Mason Larson, 10 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. Luke Ferrari, 5 tackles and 2 sacks. Jacob Shaw, 5 tackles and a pick. Braxton Ottawine, Sam Tanner, and Colton Manette each had a pick as well. Now we have Park Heritage versus Attica, WRC matchup, and it's a good one. Attica played their hearts out, but Park Heritage did win 27-12. Stats for Park Heritage: Sawyer Monick, 4 completions, 60 yards. He had 7 carries for 16. Timothy Presley had 7 carries, 73 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Leighton McMullen, 2 catches for 35 yards. And Blake Ledke added a rushing touchdown as well. On defense for the Wolves, Clayton Burgess, 11 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and we got to zoom out a little bit. There we go. And a forced fumble. Carter Vanderhayden, 4 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, and a forced fumble as well. Timothy Presley, 8 tackles and a pick. Hudson McDonald and Lucas Rhodes each added an interception. Then for Attica. I said Attica. On offense for Attica. There we go. English was not my best subject, or grammar, or talking, or speech class. You get it. Carter Vredenberg, 13 pass completions, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Gunnar Payne, baby. Big day for this young man. 12 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. 5 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. And then on defense, Gunnar Payne led the way. 18 tackles, a TFL, a pick, and a forced fumble. Denton Simmons had 11 tackles and a TFL. Lucas Griffiths, 9 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack. Then Riverton Park takes on Seeger. Riverton Park wins 48-12, 4-0, I believe, for the first time in school history. So congratulations to the Panthers. Colette Sanders, 2 pass completions, 27 yards, 2 carries for 8. And then Sean Vester, big day for this young man. 21 carries, 252 yards, 4 tutties, a catch for 9. Derek Collum, a receiving touch, or 1 reception, 18 yards, 6 carries, and 44 yards. And then Victor Shootman, he added 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Noah Pope had 7 tackles. Derek Collum was 6, and Remington Malone was 6. Then we jump to Illinois. Richland County takes on Lawrenceburg in some Little Illini action. That's a mouthful to say. Little Illini. 57-14, the Tigers get the dub. And we drop down to some middle school football. The North Clay 7th grade took on the South Putnam 8th grade. I don't know how it shook out, but it did. Eagles win 34-8. Case Bath had a rushing touchdown and an extra point pass. Jet Barker had several rush yards. Colt Sims, several rush yards and an extra point reception. Noah Isbell with a catch. Zach Colclaser had several rushing yards and a pass completion. On defense, Colt Sims, Jet Barker, Colton James, Carter Coughlin, Jace Combs, Max Stolting, Remington Wise all had tackles on the day. And now we have a new school on the lineup, Park Heritage Middle School. Thank you, coaches, for sending in the stats. They have a 4-0 record right now. Here's stats after 3 games. Kelby Shelsky hit 463 passing yards, 182 rushing yards, and 13 touchdowns in 4 games. 4 games. Luke Montel, 217 rush yards, 212 receiving yards, and 4 tutties. Austin McCoy has 98 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Kareed Shields, 126 receiving yards and 4 tutties. And on defense, Austin McCoy and Colt Martin lead the linemen, and Luke Montel and Cole Tidwell at linebackers. So thank you, coaches, for sending in those stats. Now we move to some CYFL action. Before we get there, here's a sweet picture. Saturday, we had a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the CYFL for our new scoreboard. Riddell National Bank sponsored the scoreboard. Canoes Excavating, Hagen Construction, several other volunteers all helped with the labor and the installation of this beautiful scoreboard. It's a huge improvement, and I'm going to speak for the CYFL. Thank you very much to Riddell Bank, Canoes Excavating, Hagen Construction, and everybody involved. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I know from the bottom of everybody else's hearts at the CYFL. It is very much appreciated. We're going to start off with some Pee Wee action. The White Knights took on Owen Valley. I have an itch. Knights win 39-0. Krieg Moore, big day. 7 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown. He had a pass completion for 40 yards and a touchdown as well. And he also had 2 extra points. Brody Weichel had a carry for 17 and a touchdown on the ground. He also had 1 catch for 40 yards and a touchdown. Emmerich Johnson, 2 carries, 30 yards, and a tutty. Leighton Curtis, 2 carries, 57 yards, and a tutty. Grayson Moss had 1 carry for 32 yards and a touchdown. And Benny Foxworthy had a carry for 4. On defense, Wade, I bring the wood, had 5 tackles. Cash Long, Brody Weichel, and Leighton Curtis with 3. Grayson Moss had a tackle and 2 picks. Max Sheridan and Emmerich Johnson, had a tackle as well. Now we move to some junior league action. Black Knights versus Owen Valley. Knights win 19-6. Kyler Keith had 10 carries, 116 yards, a touchdown, and an extra point. Cam McCoy, 3 carries for 20 yards, and Xavier Gerchik, 10 carries, 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's a good tactic you got there. Sorry, that's a little inside joke. If you were in the press box during that game, you'll get the joke. On defense, Xavier Gerchik had 10 tackles and a TFL. Way to go, X. Cam McCoy, 6 tackles and 5 TFLs. Colin Drury, 5 tackles, 3 TFLs. Jace Barker, 5 tackles, 2 TFLs. Max Pierce, 3 tackles and a TFL. Jacob Goebel, Kyler Keith, Paxton Drury, and Benson Gentry with 2 tackles each, and Parker Cox with 1. Then these Silver Knights, baby. They take on Sullivan. They win 13-6. Grayson Forker, 7 carries, 43 yards and a touchdown. Asher Loudermilk had 30 yards and a tutty. Kaiden Lark, 6 carries for 21 yards. He did have a pass completion for 12. Landon Pestoff had 3 carries for 20 yards. And Colin Helton, baby, had the reception for 12 yards. Congratulations. On the defensive side of things, Grayson Forker, 13 tackles. Yes, I said that. 13 tackles. Landon Pestoff had 6. Lincoln Trout, 4. Asher Loudermilk, Cashin Lowry, and Kaiden Lark, 3. Zane Curtis, Jamison Arizmendi, Brody Venzel, and Zachary Marks with 1. Then we get to some senior league action. The Black Knights take on Owen Valley. It was a hard-fought game, but Owen Valley edges out the Knights 8-6. Jackson Pestoff, 2 carries for 11. Gavin Bowling, 3 carries for 5. Liam Fabre, 20 carries for 78 yards. Hayden Kanmaker had a carry for 9 yards, and Mason Miller, 4 carries and 11. On defense, Cruz, Shepard, and Tucker Cooksey with 4 tackles each. Chandler Westfall, Jackson Pestoff, Cale Sessinger, and Liam Fabre, 3 tackles each. And Hayden Kanmaker, they call him Gloves. He got a pick. Now we move to the CYFL versus CYFL, the White Knights versus Gray Knights for the battle for the belt. The White Knights win 14-0, and there they are pictured with the belt. Congratulations to the White Knights. Javon Robinson, 6 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dalton DeWig, 8 carries for 33 yards. Crease Staley, 6 carries, 23 yards, and 2 point conversions. Javon Robinson, 10 tackles on the day. Dalton DeWig, Jerome Robinson, Hollywood Harrington had 3. Crease Staley, River Trusser, Parker Neese, and Jacob Greenwell had 2. Easton Herbert and Grayson Goshen with 1. And then the Maroon Knights took on Edgewood. Edgewood wins 14-0. Jace Hickman led the way, 12 tackles. Earl Donald with 10. Eli Marlowe and Damon Ferry had 4. Landon Zabo, Bentley McVeigh, and Ashley Ferry with 3. Colton Jones and Lucas Harrison with 2. Camden Sturley and Thatcher Flick with 1. Now we have a new program alert, the Wabash Valley Warriors. They took on the junior high Warriors, took on the ACA Knights. The Warriors get the sweep 3-0. Then the Warriors JV took on the ACA Knights. The Knights won 2-0. some stats for the Warriors. Bella Layton with an ace. Mandy Schultz with a kill and an assist. Mia Haworth had a kill. Bailey Douglas with 2 kills. And Audrey Betts with 2 kills. I am having trouble reading. I didn't need enough carrots as a kid. I'm kind of far back. The Varsity Warriors then took on the ACA Knights. The Knights get a clean sweep 3-0. Tessa Brown and Sophia Lewis, 2 aces. Sarah Eldon, 10 aces, 2 kills and 7 assists. Zoe Lewis, 3 aces and 6 kills. Casey Graham, 3 aces, 4 kills. Yasmin Crosby, 3 kills. And Bailey Douglas, an ace, 2 kills and an assist. Then the JV Warriors took on the Indy Fire, and the Warriors win 2-1. Bella Layton, 7 aces, 1 kill and 19 digs. Stella Lawhorn, 5 aces and 37 digs. Wow. Audrey Betts, 9 kills, 1 block, and 10 digs. And then the Varsity Warriors took on the Indy Fire. Fire do win 3-0. Sarah Eldon led the way. 8 aces, 3 kills, 10 assists, and 67 digs. That's a lot in one game. 3 sets. That's a lot in 3 sets. Sophia Lewis, 6 kills, 2 blocks, and 29 digs. And Yasmin Crosby, 6 blocks and 6 digs. Now we have some Clay Youth Soccer Club. The Comets, 13U Comets take on the Westside United. Comets win 2-0. Claire Mendoza and Abby Gibson each have a goal. Don't do that. Okay. Now we got CCSL Rec League action, the 8U Fall Ball. Champion Gutters takes on Moore's Home Improvement. Champion Gutters wins 8-7. Elliot Forker led the way, 4 for 4 and 2 doubles. Bree Sorrell, 4 for 4 and 1 double. Izzy Holmes went 3 for 4 and a double. Laney Hagan and Harper Modest 3 for 4. Berkeley Perry, 2 for 4. All the girls got at least 1 hit and played great. Elliot Forker made several plays at the pitching mound, securing the game in the last inning, and she got player of the game. Congratulations, Elliot. Now we got some travel ball, some fall ball. We got the 13U Outcast, baby. They are your Swing for the Cure champions in the 14U tournament. They played up, and they won. Congratulations, ladies. And we're going to get down to the games here. They start off against the East Central Elite, and the Outcasts win 7-0. Sophie Parker had a hit, 2 ribbies. Hannah Klusner, a hit and a ribby. And Mia Cole had a double. Sam Mize with 8 strikeouts. Then they take on the Vincennes Sting. The Outcasts win big time, 16-0. On the batting side of things, Mia Cole, 3 hits, a ribby, and a double. Hannah Klusner, 2 hits, a ribby, and a triple. And I totally butchered your name. I'm probably going to butcher your name. I apologize. Sam Mize, a hit and 3 RBIs, and Brindley Arnold with a triple. Audrey McClure and Sophie Parker had a strikeout. Then the Outcasts take on the Indiana Heart. The Outcasts win 7-2. Piper Hughes, 2 hits and a ribby. Hannah Klusner, 2 hits and a triple. Mia Cole and Brindley Arnold had a hit and 2 RBIs. And Brindley Young with a hit and a ribby. And on the mound, Brindley Young with 4 strikeouts. Now the Outcasts take on the Vincennes Sting yet again, and they win big time again, 7-0. Mia Cole, 2 hits, a ribby, and a triple. Sam Mize, a hit and 2 RBIs. Then on the mound, Audrey McClure, 7 strikeouts. Then the Outcasts take on the Indiana Heart in the championship. The Outcasts win in a close game, 7-6. Trinity Tanner, 2 hits and a ribby. Hannah Klusner, 2 hits and a double. Brindley Arnold, 1 hit, 3 RBIs and a double. And Sam Mize, a hit, 2 RBIs and a double. On the mound, Sam Mize had 4 strikeouts. Now we have the Outcast 12U Austin team. They were at Swing for the Cure as well. The Outcasts take on Marshall She-Cats. The Outcasts win big, 13-0. Madeline Ventura, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a double. Isla Sullivan, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Maggie Betcher, 2 hits and a triple. Tinsley Lamont added a double as well, and Millie Hayes had 6 strikeouts on the mound. The Outcasts then take on the Vincennes Sting. Outcasts win 6-2. Madeline Ventura, a hit, a ribby, and a double. Maggie Betcher with a double, and Addison Austin with 4 strikeouts. They take on the Sting yet again, back-to-back, 9-1. Outcasts win again. Isla Sullivan, a hit and a ribby. Maggie Betcher had a double. Millie Hayes with 6 strikeouts. Then the Outcasts take on the Shakamak Lady Braves. The Outcasts win 14-1. Maggie Betcher, 2 hits, a ribby, and a double. Jocelyn Martin, 2 hits and a ribby. Addison Austin a hit, a ribby, and a triple. Madeline Ventura had a hit, a ribby, and a double. Tamareski and Hayes had a hit and a ribby. Tinsley Mont with a double of her own. And Addison Austin, 4 strikeouts on the mound. Now the Outcasts take on the Gators. Gators win 5-4. Addison Austin had 2 strikeouts. And then the Outcasts take on the Tribe. Tribe win 9-1. Maggie Betcher had 2 hits and a triple. And Millie Hayes, 2 strikeouts on the mound. Now we got some chaos action. 12U. Here we go. Maybe they're 13U. I need to update my notes. The Chaos take on the Riley Braves. Chaos win 11-7. Parker Hazlitt and Wyatt Tabler. Sorry, Chad. Tabler. 2 hits and a ribby. Gannon Sturley had a hit and 2 RBIs. Reed Robinson and Ethan Beasley a hit and an RBI. Liam Fabre, 3 strikeouts on the mound. Then the Chaos take on the Indiana Bulls. The Bulls win 7-4. Reed Robinson, a hit and 2 RBIs. Cruz Shepard, a hit, a ribby, and a double. And Elijah Farron with a double. And Reed Robinson, 2 strikeouts on the mound. Now we have the Knights 2033 11U. Knights win. They take on the Mad Dog Black. The Knights win 4-2. A.J. Johnson, 2 hits, a ribby, and a double. Lucas Harrison and Luke Leslie, 2 strikeouts on the mound. And we move up to Westfield. The Rocks take on the Indiana Nitro. The Nitro win 16-5. Griffin Wellington had 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a triple. And Porter Swain, 4 strikeouts on the mound. And then the Rocks take on the Indiana Mustangs. Mustangs edge out the Rocks 14-10. Porter Swain, 2 hits, 2 ribbies, and a double. Griff Wellington added a double as well. And Calvin Schmitz, 3 strikeouts. Woo! I got to give you some more cardio. I'm getting worn out. Moving down to Riley Rec League, Fall League action. We got the junior rookies. Starting off, Hurricane Harden, Haley Payne, Reese Sanquinetti, Piper Combs, Kane Thompson, Graylin Coley, and Thaddeus Kesner all recorded hits, and Bailey led the team in putouts. And then in minor league action, Team Harden wins 10-9. Max Harden had a hit. A home run, it says. All right, we're going. Congratulations, you got a home run. Bentley Moore and Tony Muniz have a hit each. And then on the mound, Max Harden and Louis Baylor, 3 strikeouts. Got a little balled up because Tony sent me the notes pretty late there, Tony. I had to rush it. Didn't get time to study. Oh, now it's my favorite part of the show. And this week's Power Performers. Audra Staggs for Northview. Sophia Tipton for Northview Soccer. Christian Kramer for North Putt. Sean Vester, Riverton Park. Paul Oliver, Linton Stockton. Anderson Amon, North Davies. Gunnar Payne for Attica. Clayton Burgess for Park Heritage. Case Bath for North Clay. Kelby Shelsky for Park Heritage. Krieg Moore for the CYFL Pee Wee White Knights. And Wade Wood for the Pee Wee White Knights. Grayson Forker for the Silver Knights. Xavier Gerchik for the Junior Black Knights. Javon Robinson, the Senior White Knights. Jace Hickman, the Maroon Knights. Sarah Eldon for the Wabash Valley Warriors. Madeline Ventura for the Outcast 12U. Griffin Wellington for the Westfield Rocks. Reed Robinson for the Chaos. A.J. Johnson for the 2033 Knights. Congratulations. And now, since it's football season, we got to talk about the big hog mollies, the Trench Warriors. And this week's youth Trench Warriors are Thatcher Flick, Jacob Greenwell, Max Brown, Max Osborne, Benson Gentry, Lincoln Trout, Wade Wood, and Bryson Ferris. Congratulations. Now, who are the prep Trench Warriors? Well, here we go. Cale Allen for Northview. Devin Orman for Northview. Dawson Cheshire for North. The entire Terre Haute South offensive line. Chris Lyons for Linton Stockton. Kason Bishop for North Davies. Lane Griffin for Riverton Park. Jake Thoman for Olney. Ashton Deha for Greencastle. Xander Ingalls for Cloverdale. Jesse Carroll for Cloverdale. Congratulations to all the Trench Warriors. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. You don't know how much this means to me. So we're going to end it with the highlight reel. So take care. Keep pushing. We'll see you next week.